Thank you, Boomy. I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit your future and join us on our corporate update/training webinar. There'll be quite a bit of training on tonight. Let's go on and toss things over to our president and owner. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, every passing week, my respect level, which was already at a very, very high, just continues because he comes on, he does a lot of does some of the webinars, obviously the Saturday night webinars, he's been doing those, and he comes on Monday night. But I'm going to tell you, he's not a 9-to-5 president. He is not a 9-to-5 owner. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's working on all of our behalf. I know, I've been there. For all of our behalf. So let's bring on our president, let's bring on our owner as he covers some updates, some quick updates, and then we'll get into some training. Mr. J. Joshua Beisel, Mr. President, how you doing, sir?
T. Lamont, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think I'm more of a 5 to 9 president. Maybe that's the best way. or maybe some days it's really 5 in the morning until about midnight. Yeah, it has definitely been busy, but I want to talk about some of the big things that we've accomplished. I'm very, very proud of our team, T. Lamont. The field, our promoters, they continue to share the Jubi message. They continue to bring in new customers. They continue to build teams, and so I'm really proud of everyone there. But I'll tell you what, T. Lamont, I'm also very, very proud of our internal team who has done nothing but just make it happen. And there's a phrase that I'm sure people have heard: the buck stops here. And for our team, they really have that attitude. They have that attitude that we're going to get this done no matter what it takes. And I'm really proud of them. This past week, as you probably noticed, for those of you that requested a cash out, we actually paid our very first cash out almost a full 24 hours early, T. Lamont. And I got to say, I hear that people were pretty fired up about that. I mean, I think the Skype rooms were chatting about it. Yeah, people were fired up. They got that first payment. This is my favorite one. I got to tell you about this one. So we, on Thursday, which was one day prior to when we were going to do the official payout, I wanted to make sure we got everything started early. And so we started to do, I think it was, I don't know, I think it was pays that we did early. And we got that done, or maybe it was solid trust pay. And so we got that done. And then we started hearing good things. People were excited. They were fired up. And that was great. And I said, well, good. Well, so that worked. Let's move to the next one. Let's just keep testing the system here. And so then we got these urgent Skypes and these urgent support tickets coming in from leaders who were saying, stop, wait, I don't want the other payout. Because a lot of leaders, T. Lamont, had actually gone in and they had requested payout through different types, PAYSA, solid trust pay, etc. And they just wanted to test the system. And as soon as they knew that we were in a position where we were going to come through, we were going to deliver as we've been doing from day one here, time after time after time, they said, hey, look, don't you dare do that. We want to go out. We want to continue to build. So don't send that cash out. So it was pretty exciting to be able to do that early. And I think that really gave everybody just a real sense of, what, this is where we're going to plant our flag. This is where we're going to go moving forward. This is it. So I'm pretty excited about that, T. Lamont, and I know a lot of people out there in the field are excited about that as well. But we've got more big updates coming here, and I want to make sure that we save some time on this call for some training and some Q&A too. So I'm going to just kind of keep right on pressing. Now, T. Lamont, we have, as everyone knows, we have one of the most unique product lines out there. We have a really, really unique product line where we have physical delivery products.
I'm not sure. Hold on, let's make sure that's not me. That shouldn't be me, but Mr. President, you continue. Sure. I may have lost our audio recording, so let me go and make sure we're okay there. Okay. Well, Mr. President, you there? Ladies and
I'm still here, T. Lamont. All right.
You're there. Okay. All right, let me go and
All
just
right.
reset our audio recording. I think that might have
No
been what was
worries, no
happening there.
worries.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so I want to talk a little bit about the diversity of our product line. I think this is really important for everyone to understand. The goal of any company, as I've said from day one, is a group of individuals coming together to serve the public with real value through their products and services. And we here at JubiMax have a very diverse product line. We've got an amazing weight loss line. We've got our skincare line. We have several other physical products that are on their way, and some big announcements that some of you have actually heard about that are really exciting as well. But we also have this digital delivery suite of products. And the digital delivery suite of products is fantastic for a couple of reasons. One, it continues to add value in the marketplace. Two, for those of you that are marketing in areas of the world where maybe the cost of shipping is prohibitive, or maybe we don't have enough customers there to bring the cost of shipping down yet, or maybe you just have people who are not interested in the weight loss product, etc., we have a wide variety of products in our suite. Now, a couple of those that all of you have heard about are Jubi Vacations, Jubi Rebates, and Jubi Trainer. Those are the ones that you know about. And there's going to be some really, really big announcements coming up soon about some additional digital delivery products, as well as some additional physical delivery products. But I want to talk about an update on Jubi Vacations and Jubi Rebates and Jubi Trainer, because we are absolutely close. And to kind of give everybody an idea, we are close enough on those three products to going live that we've begun to schedule some training times on the products. We've begun that internal conversation amongst the leadership and amongst people here on staff to talk about when are we going to schedule the very first training for this, when are we going to schedule the very first training for the next one. So here is what I am planning on doing, Philemon. I am planning on next Monday's corporate update call, next Monday night's corporate update call, I am planning on releasing Jubi Rebates. So that's going to be next Monday, which is going to be April 29th. Now, for those of you that don't know, let me tell you, Jubi Rebates is a game changer, folks. This is one of the most powerful components of our product suite out there. Why? Because it helps people save money on products and services that they're already shopping for anyway, which is the very definition of net zero consumables. So we're going to go over and launch Jubi Rebates 1 week from today on the company update call. That is my goal. And then I can tell you that Jubi Vacations and Jubi Trainer are going to be very soon to follow. So you're going to want to be looking for those. But the big one, Jubi Rebates, is going to be 1 week from today, and that is going to be April 29th. I'm really excited about it. Folks, let me tell you something. Every single person in JubiRev, JubiMax needs to be on next Monday night's call. Everybody needs to get on. If you've got team members, maybe they're out building, everything's fine, they don't normally come out to the calls. Folks, let me tell you something. You can't miss next Monday night's call. When we launch Jubi Rebates, people are going to feel it all over the world, Tilamont. I mean, this is big. You've seen it. We were on the call late last night. You've seen it. It's huge, right?
It's more than huge. Actually, so much more than what I thought, and so much more than what we've even portrayed on the income opportunity webinars. When we get to that page, we spend probably as much time on that page talking about Jubi Rebates than we do skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. And what I saw last night blew me away, because hopefully I can share this. If I go too much, you just shut me up there. You know, I thought people would simply go to the Jubi Rebates portal, so on and so forth, then go in and do their shopping, and they can do that. What I didn't know is that there's going to be a toolbar that people can download. So if I go to Google, and let's say there are some there's a certain pair of shoes that I like. My favorite pair of shoes are called Merrells. If I put into Google Merrell, all right, I'm trying to find a place online where I can get these shoes, it's going to show me right there on the home page when it pulls up, it's going to show me any of the merchants that carry that product or that brand or what have you, and what they give in cash back. So I could be a customer, Mr. President. I downloaded that toolbar once. I go to Google, I go to Yahoo, I go to Bing. I put in whatever it is that I'm looking for, play set for my little girl. I'm looking for, flowers to send to my wife for, just because she loves me, whatever. I put that in there, and it's going to bring up all of the merchants that are already tied to Jubi rebates, and this one pays you 2.5% back. That one pays you 9.25% back. That one pays you 5.75% back. We're talking about customers using this. We're talking about the promoters also using this. And what I heard, people were going to get paid back in terms of their cash back and how that was going to work in our system. And for those of us who use the products and services or buy from ourselves, what that's going to mean for us in terms of earning more Jubi bucks was extremely exciting, but I probably said more than I was supposed to.
Oh, it's all right, Tieleman. I got to tell you this. One thing is for sure. There's a balance between getting everybody fired up and excited about something, and then there comes that moment in time where it's really not about getting people excited anymore. It's about, hey, something big is coming, don't miss it. And honestly, that's where we are at this point. I mean, we've seen it. Jubi Rebates is absolutely fantastic, and we are going to see our company grow and the growth potential of every one of our promoters and the company's growth and the amount of customers that we're acquiring going to whole new levels. Why? Because customers and revenue and online e-commerce, those are the big three words that people should go to bed tonight and they should be thinking about right as they drift off to sleep, and then they're not going to sleep at all. Because when you get those three things really rolling, which is what we're doing, customers, revenue, e-commerce, that's where we're headed, and I got to say I'm really excited about it. So don't miss next Monday night's call for Jubi Rebates. Now, we are going to very quickly thereafter be launching Jubi Vacations and as well as Jubi Trainer. And somewhere in there, Tieleman, you know what? We may end up having no choice but to do 2 company updates in 1 week at some point. I'm just saying, just throwing that out.
We may have to. A lot of things are coming down the pike. A lot of things. Mr. President, can I just make this point here very important, because a lot of our promoters, some of them may be newer to the industry and maybe haven't been with the company when it's just in this birthing stage. We did the pre-registration, which was about a month, and then we did the pre-launch. Now we're in the soft launch where the daily leadership bonus is paying daily. Of course, if you've been placing your ads, you've been getting paid daily. The company is putting several trillion-dollar industries under one roof. Jubi Vacations is one. Jubi Rebates with the online shopping. Obviously, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. And so, those things, they take time to put all of that together, and some of the partners and what have you. Just want to tip my hat off to all the leaders out there and to all of the newbies out there, maybe newer to the industry or newer to a company just getting launched, in your leadership and your patience as we are rolling out these various components, Jubi Rebates, then soon Vacations, as well as Jubi Trainer. Back to you, Mr. President.
So the next big update that we want to talk about is auto ship dates. Now, this is really, really big, so I don't know if we have we got a little space here on the whiteboard to kind of talk about it. But okay. One of the questions that people have asked me for the last probably 30 days is, this is what they've said. They've said, J. Joshua, we got started early. We got started in February 28th through, maybe the end of March. And somewhere in getting started, we placed our very first auto ship date. But Tieleman products weren't ready to ship at that time. Right. We weren't shipping products yet. People were just positioning themselves, getting ready to position their teams, and we were testing the system out. And so the question was going to be, hey, if I place my order on the 21st, 22nd of March, is my auto ship due today? And so we're starting to get kind of some support tickets on this. And I wanted to make sure that everybody, we got to be fair to everybody. That's the whole premise of our company is, we've got a fair compensation plan. We've got amazing value products and services. We really want to take care of people. Our support, even while we're on this call, I've gotten probably 30 people saying how awesome support is, just proactively. I didn't even ask. So, we always try to be fair to people. What we've decided to do is this, Tieleman, for auto ships. If you purchased on or before April 1, so if you purchased on or before April 1 of 2013, your max bucks. So you place your auto ship order on or before April 1. Your renew date will be May 1st, 2013. And I think that's fair, Tieleman.
Okay, so even if I was March 22nd, then my renewal date is not April 22nd, which is today. It
Right.
would be it would be May 1. Gotcha. Okay. Anyone
Exactly.
that made a purchase from April 1st and before, their renewal date is May 1. So I need to have eCash. I need to have eCash there to cover my Max Bucks subscription. Okay, I got
Yep.
that. All right.
Yep. So now this is where there's another important detail. People want to know, when is my renewal date going to be? And it's always going to be, Tilamont, on the same day of the month, every month, from your original first order. So if you ordered on the 5th of whatever month you got started, your renew date is going to be, on or before the 5th of the following month, right? So,
Okay.
and that's really important. Okay. So now, what is also really important is some months have different lengths of days. So if you were to get started on the 30th or the 31st or the 29th, and your billing date would normally fall on, of course, that 29th, 30th, or 31st, but any given month doesn't have that date, you're going to be on simply the last day of the month. Very simple. Okay. So
Okay.
your
Okay.
renew date is going to be on or before the same day next month. Very, very simple for people to figure out. If you get started on a Tuesday the 5th, well, by next month, whatever day it is, on the 5th of that month or before, you've got to place your reorder for your monthly auto ship in order to qualify for the daily leadership bonus and other parts of the compensation plan. So pretty simple. That is also, by the way, Tilamont, available for people to see in their back office. So when people go into their back office, they log in, they go over to look inside, they're going to see their renewal date now listed there. Okay.
Okay,
So
and give us just a moment.
sure.
We can show that. Mr. President, let me ask you a question, okay? Let me go back to the post that I just had here. Just make sure I'm understanding this. You talked about the renewal date being your monthly anniversary. So if it was April the 5th when someone purchased their Max Bucks, then May 5th would be their monthly anniversary. Now, but for everyone that purchased April 1 or prior to, their date is going to be the 1st going forward. Is that correct? Like
Correct.
May 1, June 1, so on and so forth?
Correct.
Okay, I've got that. And then but let's go back and show you where it shows your monthly anniversary. And by the way, some of you have already put this in your questions box. One of the things that programming did take care of, previously, if you had, let's say, 200 Max Bucks with your subscription, this is a training account here, and you use, in this case, looks like 135 Max Bucks were used, but it left 6404. Previously, the system was not locked. The system was locked, so you could not go and purchase more Max Bucks. I'm sorry, excuse me. You couldn't go and use the remaining Max Bucks. That no longer is the case. So all you got to do is come in your back office. I may have been timed out. Hopefully I wasn't. Click on Max Bucks there. There we go. Click on Max Bucks. Now, of course, it may prompt you to put your PIN number in, but we've already been back here. Click on Max Bucks, and you're going to see what Mr. President just said. Auto ship date, May 1st, 2013. All right, so that's new. That wasn't there before. Number 2, you have the ability to shop and spend Max Bucks. So if you still have Max Bucks remaining from the previous auto ship, you can click here and spend those Max Bucks, 6404 here. By the way, real quickly, let's say you wanted to spend the Max Bucks, but you wanted this youth 24 karat gold time anti-aging serum. You see that the price is $69.99. We're doing a combination of updates and training here. You could choose that, and what would happen is the system would simply deduct the 6404 Max Bucks. Remember, you get no points when you use your Max Bucks. That's part of our auto ship. And then if I had additional Jubi Bucks, as we do in this training system, then it would simply debit the remainder of that amount from my Jubi Buck column, and then we would actually see some points there when you're debiting from Jubi Bucks. Max Bucks do not create points. Please let your teammates know that. Max Bucks, what we get for our monthly subscription, do not create Jubi points. Jubi Bucks do create Jubi points. Whether we use them ourselves, we get a 50% match. I use 100 Jubi Bucks, I get 50 Jubi points. Or if I give them away, then I get my point per buck given away. All right, so there is how you go and use Max Bucks if you've already used them before, but you've got some remaining Max Bucks. And again, Max Bucks, you click that button that shows you your May 1 and also shows you how you can go and spend more Max Bucks. Mr. President, I don't know if you got to this yet. If someone wants to go in and change their auto ship, is that functionality there now, or will it be coming soon?
Yes, and that's a really important question because we have a lot of people who want to have the opportunity to, maybe upgrade, or they want to have an opportunity to downgrade or change or do this or do that. We're going to have that functionality in by next Monday, which will be the 29th. Now, it doesn't give folks a lot of time if their renewal date is going to be the 1st, but it's going to give them at least 48 hours in there, okay? And so by Monday, if not sooner, you're going to be able to make an adjustment up, down, sideways on your auto ship there. Not a problem.
Okay, wonderful. Got you there. Okay. All right, Mr. President, what else do we have in terms of update/training?
I think this is probably a really, really important one, and this is one that has really got people to sigh a deep sigh of relief and say, oh, wow, that's fantastic. In fact, we get people who are happy, but we don't get, there are not a lot of things we're going to do in the back office technically that get people to say, wave their hands and say, oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Because it's technical stuff, right? It's not a marketing piece, it's technical stuff. Well, we have something technical in the back office to the month that actually has people as excited as a new brochure or a new website. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And that is the countdown timer when people go to place their ads. So we have been working on that now for the last 2 weeks. We are officially on, I believe, day 14 or day 15 now of our daily leadership bonus, and people are very, very excited about that. But the ad placement system has been around since day 1, but it's begun slowly to be enforced in terms of if you haven't placed your ad, folks, you're not going to have an opportunity to earn in that day's daily leadership bonus. So it's important that you make sure that you've placed your ad. Well, technically now, when people go into their back office and key them up, we can actually do this on this account right now. Let's go in and kind of take a peek at what we see. Now, this account, if I remember correctly, when you logged in a minute ago, was not qualified for today. Is that correct? Not qualified.
That's right. It was not qualified because it had not, of course, it's a training account, but its ad had not been placed and posted. And so I've got a couple questions I can already see. So Mr. President will want to make sure people understand what they need to do at this juncture before they hit 25,000 points or what have you. What do they need to do to make sure they're qualified for daily rewards?
The main points are that you must have placed your ad that day. You must have placed your ad that day. And you must have a monthly subscription that qualifies you to earn. And those are the 2 main components. Now, there are some additional ones, as you alluded to there. There are some additional qualifications as people get past their 60-day grace period. There's some volume requirements, etc. But the most important things that you must do in order to qualify to earn in that day's daily leadership bonus, folks, is place your ad and be a J director or higher. Those 2 things must happen. Now, when you go to place your ad, which we're going to look at here in just a couple of moments, it's going to tell you timing-wise where you are, how much time you have left to place today's ad. Let's see if that shows that.
Okay, all right. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing an ad placement training right now. There is a link right here on your homepage if you need a video tutorial to walk you on how to place an ad. We just want to make sure that everyone knows how to read this clock. So I'm going to go to daily ad placement, Mr. President. Now, I had actually gone through before the webinar had gotten started and gotten my ad from my sample approved daily ads. I went and copied one of these ads here. I then went back to one of the ad venues and placed the ad. Again, you can watch that video tutorial to have that guide you through that process. But now, when we come back here, Mr. President, here's what we need to be mindful of. Our daily ad needs to be placed in order for us to be qualified for that day's daily leadership bonus. our daily ad needs to be placed by no later, and I think our system runs on Central Time, no later than 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you don't know what that means in your neck of the woods, right here, you can click a link and it takes you to a time and date converter. That way, if you're in Australia, what does 7 p.m. Central mean in your neck of the woods? Okay, so now, what this is telling me is that your ad posting requirement for the business day of April 23rd, we're talking about tomorrow now. Why? Because the ad that I needed earlier for today to qualify me for the daily leadership bonus, that time ran out when? 7 p.m. Central, or since I'm Eastern time, let's say 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so now this is telling me as I come in here that I do not have a qualifying ad in place in order to earn for tomorrow. And this clock is telling me that I've got 22 hours, 28 minutes, and 30 some odd seconds to place my ad so I'm qualified for tomorrow. Okay, that's how you'd read the clock. When I place my ad in a few moments, this clock is not going to change. It's just letting me know when I see this clock, this is how much time I have to qualify for the next daily leadership bonus. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take the link that had populated when I placed my ad earlier. Give me just a moment. Remember, it's not enough just to place your ad out there on these venues. You then have to come and post that ad. And right now, this ad has to be a unique URL every day. You might use the same venue if that same venue allows you to do so, but you need to have a different URL. If you use the same URL you used yesterday, the system's not going to accept it. Now, Mr. President, I think there's some other things that's happening if people are doing Facebook, and down the road that might come into fruition. But whether or not, even if you're using Facebook, make sure right now you've got a different URL. So give me just a moment. We did Classifieds Giant. All right, and now we're going to submit the form, and when we submit the form, I want you to see what happens to this red bar up here. So we're going to submit the form, and there we go. Your ad posting requirement has been met for the business day of April 23rd, 2013. This requirement will be in effect for the following period of time. So what we just did qualified us for when? Open up your questions box. Tell me, what we just did qualified us for when? Qualified us for when? Fantastic, fantastic. It qualified us for tomorrow. Now, so what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is at 8:01 p.m. Eastern or 7:01 p.m. Eastern, this bar tomorrow is going to reset back to red. So if you just want to get in the habit maybe of placing your ad after that time each night, maybe before you go to bed, so you know the next day you're taken care of, and then the next day you're taken care of, whatever works for you, just put it in your schedule. It only takes a few short minutes to place your ad. So that's how that timer now works. Back to you, Mr. President.
Well, one of the things that I'm really, really excited about with this system is that it's been working now for the last, I think, like 4 or 5 days, and the number of support tickets is like single digit. 4, 5, 6 people, question about this, question about that. But as a group, everybody has done a fantastic job. And just real quick, a couple of things. You did mention that you need to have a unique ad every day. We are in the process right now of adding in some of the big places like Facebook, etc., allowing them to basically accept the same URL each day as long as your ad has been placed there uniquely. So we are slowly rolling those things out. Here's the thing. We have our team monitoring and rolling this out and making sure that it's working. And again, with just a few people every day having questions about it, this is rock solid at this point, and I'm really, really excited about it because this little bit of technology here, T. Lamont, has people just excited. So again, normally they only get excited when we do a new brochure, a new website, that type of thing, but this has people fired up about it. Now, Tilamont, just to kind of keep moving forward beyond the placement of the daily ad, I know one of the other questions people have had is customer orders. People have been out giving away Jubi Bucks to earn Jubi points.
Okay.
Another topic we want to actually talk about a little bit later. But in the process of giving away their Jubi Bucks to earn Jubi points, what happens is they've had some customers that have gone into the shopping cart to spend Jubi Bucks, and it wasn't forcing that new customer to spend Jubi Bucks. Sometimes it was allowing them to put the entire amount of the order on their credit card or this type of thing, and that wasn't creating a perfect flow for perfect customer satisfaction. So we have made an update to the shopping cart that if you are sending Jubi Bucks to somebody, they become a customer and they've got Jubi Bucks and they're going through the checkout process, it actually will force them to spend the Jubi Bucks. It forces them to spend their available Jubi Bucks so as to minimize any amount that they're putting on their credit card. Okay, so we've got that. That's in place right now. And the other update that I want to talk a little bit about is shipping. We have been shipping out. I sent you some pictures earlier. Pallet after pallet after pallet of JubiMax. It's been absolutely fantastic. So one of the things that I do want to mention to everyone, if you have any part of your order that is not perfect, that is not flawless, we want you to create a support ticket and do so right away, because just a couple of things. I had some folks that wrote in. They love the product, got a great testimonial, but one of the toner bottles might have been crushed or something like that. So I feel, Tilamon, it's always best to address problems head on, work together as a team, and really give everybody the opportunity to grow together. So folks, if there's anything that isn't perfect, want to let us know. We've been checking the numbers, Tilamon, and right now shipping concerns of any kind, product concerns of any kind are under 5%. So right now we're at 95% customer satisfaction, but that's not good enough. And so really, really important that folks, if you've had any issue, if there was anything you noticed that wasn't perfect, please let us know. We want to make sure we have an opportunity to continue to improve our process so that we can achieve 100% customer satisfaction, maximum referrals, maximum growth in the marketplace. So that was just a little unexpected update there, Tilamon, I know, and want to keep things moving, but really important, I felt, to kind of address that.
Since you just said that with the support ticket system, if I could real quickly just share a little training blurb, something that has really impacted me in my ability to work with support, whether well even before JubiRev, JubiMax. Ladies and gentlemen, please be mindful when you send in a support ticket. The person that's looking at that support ticket is a human being, and what they are dealing with all day long are support tickets. These are issues that come up and so on and so forth. One of the things I want you to consider doing when you send in a support ticket is use what I call the build, burn, build method. And what that simply says is, so you've got an issue. Maybe you're questioning, hey, one of my customers or one of my folks or yours truly, my product hasn't gotten to me yet, and it's been a little bit longer than what I would have suggested. Instead of just sending in a support ticket saying, where's my product or what have you, do a little build. That build could be something like, thank you for all your awesome support. That's the build part. The burn part is, have an issue. I ordered such and such a date, or whatever your issue happens to be. Don't sugarcoat the issue. Share the issue. The point is, what you're going to find is that because you've got human beings on the other end, just put yourself in support. If all you did all day long was answer support tickets about this not being right or this little bug or what have you, it would probably weigh on you. If all of a sudden you got a support ticket that started off with a thank you for your awesome support or thank you for all your hard work, what have you, here's my issue, and then you end up with a build, again, thanks for your awesome support, so on and so forth. Mr. President, we taught our team to do that in the previous enterprise, and what happened was we had a go-to support person that would kind of work with us and so on and so forth, and she gave me a call and she said, I can tell anyone that's on your team that issues a support ticket because they're so nice. And you know what happened, Mr. President? And, she should have done this for everybody, but she's a human being. She really made sure, even if it was past quitting time, she made sure she got to as many of those support tickets and got them addressed because it made her feel good, because now she felt like she was appreciated. So just keep that in mind. Yes, they're being paid, and they're being paid very well, but they're human beings just like the rest of us. Back to you, Mr. President.
Well, one thing's for sure, T. Lamont. I can tell you that at any given time, the amount of support tickets is going down, and I can also say that you've been probably sharing that on a lot of your training calls, because we really do have at JubiRev, Jubi Max, and I know our support team and all of our internal team, everybody would agree, we have the best promoters on the planet. I mean, we have the greatest attitude on the field, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because like attracts like, and that's who we all are, and so that's who we're attracting to our organization, or maybe it's because leadership inspires and leadership leads, and maybe it's because, Iba Memorial is coming out on the beginning of the calls, and she's just leading us out there. I don't know, but we have the greatest attitude of any group of people out there. And look, here's what happens. There's an old phrase that says your altitude will never be greater than your attitude. And we have a team that has the best attitude on the planet, and that's why our altitude is unlimited and why we continue to have the opportunity to grow every single day. It's absolutely fantastic. So now, T. Lamont, let's see here. Now, the other day, T. Lamont, you got the better of a small contest that we had. You asked a question the other day that got more yeses than any question I've ever asked. All right. Now, my mind, I only think about what we can do to improve. Right. That's my job. So I said to myself, okay. So T. Lamont asked a question on one of our big company update calls, and I mean literally, like, there might have been one person who, for whatever reason, was fumbling around with the keyboard and couldn't type in a Y. But we had one question you asked that had more people type in a Y or the word yes than any other question. So I just want everybody to get in front of their keyboard here, and I want to see if we have an opportunity to actually get a question answered for everyone that gets them really, really fired up. So everybody, get your keyboards ready here, folks. Get your keyboards ready, because I want all of you to have an opportunity here to answer this question. The first wave bonus. A first wave bonus.
First wave bonus, okay.
It expires tonight. It's April 22nd. Some of you might have forgotten. It expires tonight. Question: should we extend the first wave bonus through the end of this month? Type it in there fast.
I think you won. Thanks for it so fast.
Well, that's because I had everybody keyed up. See, I had a little planning time here. See. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I like to be fair to Lamont. Let's call it a tie.
I don't know, because yours are still coming in.
Yeah, they are still coming. Listen, it's a really tough decision, and T. Lamont, I shared with you earlier today. I think that there's a really important balance, folks, between when I say I'm going to do something, I want people to know I'm going to get the job done. And when I say I'm going to pay on a certain day, I like to pay a day early. When I say I'm going to launch the daily leadership bonus, we actually went on the call the day it was due, and we paid for the day before. Okay, I like to get the job done on time, early if I can, and if I make a mistake, I like to be right up front and say, hey, I've missed the mark, folks, but here's what I'm doing to improve and make it better. Okay. So these are really important things here. One thing that I know is that if we go around extending hard deadlines, that people might think that we're easy and we can be taken advantage of, and that's not what I want to do here, T. Lamont. So I really, really, really wrestled with this decision. By the way, T. Lamont, what is that?
Well, that's what I was trying to pull up. I'd forgotten to bring that over. Where some pictures were taking of some of the product that were leaving the warehouse there.
And by the way, that's just one day. That's a pallet just for the day. I mean, folks, this is, our shipping facility, they are being taxed. They are being weighed and measured, T. Lamont. And we have product going out every day. In fact, remind me if we have time tonight. I don't want to run us long with stories. But if we have time tonight, I want to give everybody a little marketing test update that I've heard about through the grapevine with JubiMax products that is just, it's unheard of in this industry. I've never heard of this. I've been in business for 20 years. I've been in this space full time now for 8 years, and I have never heard of anything like this. So if we have time, I'll tell that little story here on tonight's call. But folks, you know, I really wrestled with, should we extend the first wave bonus? And here's what I've decided to do. Based on the fact that I know that we've got people who have been, you know, working on getting their online e-checks in, bank wires, maybe they didn't have their Solid Trust Pay account, maybe they didn't have their Pays account set up, just based on the pure momentum as teams are beginning to join over here at JubiMax, and the word is out, you know, we are the next big thing. And even better, folks, I believe that we have a company that has a roadmap to really allow all of us to continue to grow and prosper for years and years and years. We are not a flash in the pan. There's more architecture and infrastructure embedded in what we're doing here at JubiMax than any other company I know of. But all that said, I've decided, T. Lamont, and it looks like I've got the crowd's approval, to extend the first wave bonus through the end of this month only. So that will be through the end of this month, and that will be April 30th, 2013. So that is an 8-day extension, and I really want to be clear with folks. I do not want to make a habit of extending bonuses. It's just not what we need to do. However, T. Lamont, I think there's a unique timing here where we can really give everybody an opportunity to continue their surge and continue their push forward. And so we are going to extend that first wave bonus through April 30th at midnight Central Standard Time will be the very last time. And so with that said, T. Lamont, I'm going to give it back to you because I know we've got a couple of other things here, but I do think we had a lot of people who agreed with this decision, by the way.
Yeah. Got a ton of folks. As a matter of fact, there's now a lot of folks are saying, wow, whoa, thank you, great decision, sir, fantastic. Mr. President, if I can, I know we've got a lot of other things to do. I want to just highlight why this bonus is so important. You know, as people were coming on, they were saying, you know, how many points or bucks they had. Of course, we don't associate that with their name. But we're already starting to see some folks. We're seeing some of the bigger leaders that have larger teams now getting close to that 100,000 point mark, which is huge. Others 50,000, getting closer to 50,000 point mark. And then, but the big thing is for the little guyette, maybe the person who hasn't built a large team just yet, this is equally as important. Let me just hit this real quickly, if you don't mind, Mr. President. What's the first wave bonus? Number one, when you make a purchase of JubiBucks, when you make a purchase of JubiBucks, all right, you would normally get 1 point every time you gave away 1 JubiBuck. You get an extra 10% match. You get an extra 10% match, whether that is 1 JubiBuck you purchase or 1,000 JubiBucks you purchase. Also, be mindful that with your daily leadership bonus, what are you paid in? We are paid in what? JubiBucks. So when you have your daily leadership bonus paid out and is paid to you in JubiBucks, if you're not commissioning that out, all right, if you are allowing all of your daily rewards to be paid in JubiBucks, guess what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? That's considered another transaction, and those JubiBucks, whether it was 1 or 100 JubiBucks you earned for the night, they earn the extra 10% match in Jubi points once you give them away. The second part of that was for those of us that are building teams, you get not only your regular commissions, but you also get matching Jubi points. Let's make sure we understand this. Let's say, for instance, if you're Diamond, you referred Martha. Martha purchased JubiBucks, whether that was she loaded new funds to purchase JubiBucks, whether that was the fact that she's earning on a daily basis and a certain amount of her earnings is going to JubiBuck inventory, you'd get a 10% commission on that if you were Diamond, but you now would get a 10% matching point total. That's huge, particularly those of you that have folks on your first generation and maybe some folks on your second, maybe some folks on your third, because you're picking up 10% or 5% or 1% matching points based on your commissioning level. And again, this is where we're seeing some of the larger business builders that have larger teams really starting to rack up points and points and points on a daily basis. That extra 8 days, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. Make sure you take advantage of it. Solid Trust Pay pays are the quickest ways to do so. But now this gives you a little time if you go on and execute quickly, for those of you who want to use ACH or those of you who want to use wires to take advantage of the first wave bonus. Back to you, Mr. President.
Well, with that business out of the way, one of the questions that you've mentioned a couple of times here on this call, and I know it's come up, is people ask the question, you know, just how do I give away Jubi bucks to get Jubi points? You know, can we go over that? Now, we've got several training calls, and I can show you, if you go back to that screen in a minute, I can show you where there is one where I walked all the way through it. But it doesn't take that long. If you've got Jubi bucks and you want to learn how to give them away so that you can earn Jubi points, we can show you how to do that here in just a couple of quick minutes, and I think that would be really helpful. And then just looking at the time, maybe at that point, we can quickly grab some Q&A here and see if we can help some folks.
Okay. Was it one of these links here that walks them through?
Yes. It's the special training, number 5 there. Number 5, it's about 44 minutes, but it walks you through starting with an account that is fresh, some eCash is loaded in there, and it walks you all the way through from there.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you need help, because what I am getting, Mr. President, I'm getting some folks that are saying that, hey, it looks like I earned last night, or I placed my ad last night, but my Jubi point total didn't move. Well, remember, we have to give away the Jubi bucks that we earn to generate more Jubi points. All right, real quick, if you click on where it says Jubi bucks, click on where it says Jubi bucks, it's going to take you to your Jubi buck manager. You're going to see your vault. How many Jubi bucks do you have in inventory? You're going to be able to tell the system how many Jubi bucks do you want to give to a new registered customer. When that customer registers, how many Jubi bucks should the system give them? We recommend that you have a conservative allotment because you are going to be placing ads each day. Some of you are starting to use some customer co-ops out there, and so you do want to have Jubi bucks to give new customers. So even with 8,400, for instance, if we wanted to have this set at 200 Jubi bucks, we could, and then we simply click take one of these links. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you a lot of folks getting a lot of very positive feedback from people in Skype rooms and Facebook rooms and what have you, saying, hey, I simply sent my link out to my email database, or I posted my link on Facebook, or I Skyped it out, or I tweeted that link out, and I've gotten people to register to get my Jubi bucks. For some people, it's going to be just that simple. Others of you, other leaders out there, maybe have some customer co-ops. The company is not in the business of endorsing one co-op over another or what have you. And I don't even think the company can do that from a legal standpoint. So get back with the person who referred you, or get back with your leadership. If you're in some Skype chat rooms, if you're in some Facebook rooms, find out if there's some co-ops out there that you can participate in if you are looking for other sources to also help you with giving out the Jubi bucks. Today, Mr. President, I was so proud. Sally sent me an email, and Sally's really looking at this thing like a business. She said, hey, I've got business cards, and when I'm out and about, I'm giving people that business card that tells them that I'm giving them Jubi bucks, and she's registered a lot of customers that way, and she's also excited because she's had customers that have actually not only claimed the bucks, but obviously used them. Okay, so now, when your customer registers, all right, when your customer registers, they fill out this information, they click claim your Jubi bucks, you're going to see your Jubi buck totals are going to be debited, and then your Jubi point totals are going to increase. Now, Mr. President, when you have customers, and again, if you watch that 5th video, it'll walk you through the entire process. When you have customers, Mr. President, there's an opportunity where you can go back if those customers have not received the maximum amount of Jubi bucks the system allows, and you can assign additional Jubi bucks. You come under My Jubi Team. You'd search for your customers. Let's make this very interactive. Can someone tell me what's the maximum amount of Jubi bucks we can give to one customer, maximum amount of Jubi bucks. There you go, Steve. There you go, Linda, Dennis. My gosh, a lot of you have it. Frank, Vicky. I can't name all the names. It's a bunch of you. Okay, so the max you can give is 400 Jubi bucks. Total of $750 worth of product value when Jubi Vacations launches, and some of the other products you'll be able to give away, and then even the sample pages once they're ready to go. So look at this for just a moment. Let's pay attention to what's happening here. We've got Joe Customer. Joe Customer registered. This is not test position or our training position, and he received 200 Jubi bucks. Okay, received 200 Jubi bucks. What's the maximum? 400. So let's say I earned with this training position 11.83 Jubi bucks for the night. So I just earned another 11.83 in Jubi bucks. Well, what I can simply do is come back here and give Joe Customer, I can assign him additional Jubi bucks. The system allows us to assign as little as 1 Jubi buck and up to a maximum to where they reach their 400. Joe already has 200 Jubi bucks. I could assign 200 to him. But the reason this is so huge is that if you earn 1 Jubi buck for the night, if you earn 2.36 Jubi bucks for the night, and you've got customers back here that have not gotten their maximum allotment, then that means you can come back here, assign more Jubi bucks to them, and that does what? It converts the Jubi bucks that you had in your Jubi buck inventory now into Jubi points. So if you're saying, oh, I earned Jubi bucks, but I don't see my Jubi point totals moving, go back, My Jubi team, customers, see if you have customers in place that have not gotten the maximum allotment, assign more Jubi bucks, and guess what you're going to have, ladies and gentlemen? More Jubi points. Back to you, Mr. President.
Awesome, awesome. Now, one of the things that I know that I hear from folks, and I actually have a little note on here, that they're asking for is to make sure that we get copies of our Monday night calls and our Saturday calls up. And this last week I was traveling, so just real quick mention, we do have last Monday night's call. I'm going to make sure we get that up, work with my team here over the next 24 hours and get that up. I thought it was back there, Lamont, but we're going to make sure that it does get back there as well. So let's do some questions here.
Okay, all right, give us just a moment. And give us a few moments, Mr. President. Here.
Take your time.
Take a look.
Now, one of the things Lamont, we were talking about too, are some of these product training calls. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just say that next Monday I want to talk about making sure that we get some we get some dates in place on next Monday night's call for training on some of the products. So that's just an additional note here. I'm going to make next Monday night's call. We're going to do Jubi rebates. We're also going to do some product training calls. We're going to get them scheduled at or by that time. Okay.
Could you answer this real quickly? And I think we just answered it a little bit, but not in great detail. We mentioned that we can give away $750 worth of product value. Of that, 400 of the 750 can be Jubi bucks. How will the other $350 worth of product value be given away?
Well, there are 3 main components that allow you to earn points if with giving away Jubi bucks. The first one is actually giving away Jubi bucks. So if you wanted to give away denominations of 25 Jubi bucks, when somebody accepts to become a customer, you've earned 25 Jubi points. But there are 2 other ways that are coming soon. One is called virtual sampling, and this is really big. This is where instead of offering somebody as an incentive to try us and become a customer, instead of offering them 50 Jubi bucks per se, you're going to be offering them a specific product for free. All they need to do is pay for the price of shipping. This is called virtual sampling. It's the exact same as people have been doing, Lamont, for 50 years, probably 100 years, where you buy products and then you go to friends and family or neighbors or people that you meet and you say, hey, listen, I'm so confident that my product will help you achieve XYZ result that I'm willing to let you try it absolutely for free if you'll give me some feedback as to how you liked it and consider using the product every month. And so when somebody says yes to that, well, you give them the product to go home and try. They come back and they reorder from you. That's the goal. That's traditional sampling. Well, we have virtual sampling. Virtual sampling is where you're going to be able to actually have the pages, do the marketing, sell the product, help you give that product away for free, and then as soon as a person claims it, the value of that product is what you're going to be earning in Jubi points, because the value of that product in Jubi bucks is deducted from your Jubi buck account. Okay.
So when they claim the sample, the value, that's when the company says product value, the value of that product will be deducted from our Jubi bucks, and that will equate to Jubi points. So if someone, for instance, the cardio product, which is a phenomenal product, is $39.99. If I virtual sampled the cardio product, $39.99, they'll cover the shipping and handling. Then what would happen is the system would look, I'd have to have, let's say I've got 40 Jubi bucks at least. It would deduct the $39.99 from my Jubi buck totals, and then it would then give me the corresponding amount of Jubi points. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Got you. And then what's going to be the second way?
Well,
other than the Jubi, really it's going to be the third, because we've got the Jubi bucks and we've got the virtual sampling. So what's going to be the next way?
The next way was really inspired by my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, every year on my birthday, would send me $5 and a birthday card. And I've told the story a little bit about how I had, my grandparents would send me a 10. Every once in a while, I think somebody in my family might have had a really good year and maybe they sent me $20, okay? But most of the time, really it was, on my birthday, it was two things were really exciting for me. One was to figure out what presents I was going to get that year, okay? I mean, we were in the country, so it didn't have to be anything really big. It might have been a new whittling knife or, a new chain for my bicycle. It could have been something small. But the second best part was going to the mailbox in the weeks and days leading up to my birthday and getting letters from family members who would send me a little bit of cash. And so I said to myself, when we were working on the programming for this, I said to myself, if my great-grandmother were still here, after all those years of blessing me on my birthday with that $5 in the birthday card, I would want to do something really special for her. Now, from a marketing perspective, T. Lamont, maybe you want to go out, maybe you're just getting started here and you're only giving away, maybe 10 Jubi bucks at a time. Maybe you're only able to give away 15 or 20. Maybe you're being conservative. Maybe you're at 35, 50. Maybe some people are able to do a little bit more numbers. But I said to myself, T. Lamont, what if one of your favorite aunts or somebody in your family or a really close friend, what if you wanted to give them a single amount larger than your average denomination to just really allow them to try all the products that you had, right? So what if you wanted to go to like one special person, T. Lamont, and give them 300 or 350 or 400 or 200? And I said to myself, that's what I would want if my great-grandmother was here. If I had a family member I really wanted to help take care of, who'd always been there for me, that's what I would want. So we've created, it's not complete yet, but it's getting very, very close each week as we move forward. And if you have, folks, if you've got somebody in your life that's special, who's maybe gone out of their way for you, or maybe you've got somebody in your life that's influential, that is just going to need to try all the products and services before they're going to do something, it's just outside of your normal promoting, there's a little place in there where you can actually go in and actually choose for one person a certain amount that you want to allot for them, and you're going to get a very special link that is just exclusively for them that you can send them safely, knowing that if anybody accepts it, it'll be only them, and that way you're not having to give out too many Jubi bucks at a time. And so that's coming, and what's really nice about it is that it allows you to control your virtual inventory. It allows you to control your Jubi bucks. And so that is coming soon. So that's actually the third way that you can give away Jubi bucks to earn Jubi points.
Mr. President, I was doing some private messaging to some of the questions that were coming in. How would you just put that in a quick sentence so I can post that to the board?
If you want to be able to give away Jubi bucks in a denomination that is different from your average denomination, then you can give away a one-time amount to one person. You can give away a custom amount to one person using this.
There we go. Custom amount.
There you go. Custom amount to one person.
And on the virtual sampling would also cover things like Jubi Vacations. We didn't cover that, but would that also cover like Jubi Vacations, giving someone access to Jubi Vacations?
Yep. Jubi Vacations, fantastic. Jubi Trainer, Jubi Rebates, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Got some questions here about Jubi Suite. Do you mind hitting that real quickly? I've gotten several questions about that, sir.
Sure. So do you want me to just take it from the top where we are?
Yeah, if you would, please.
Okay. First of all, Jubi Suite is a really, really powerful tool. And I'm going to give you a technical update here, which some people are going to start to drift off to sleep when I do that. So, but before I give the technical update, let me tell everybody why I'm so excited about the Jubi Suite. The Jubi Suite is really, really important because it allows you to create fear of loss and it allows you to create rewards for those who are taking action within your organization relative to several different parts of our compensation plan, the largest of which is the uni level. And for those folks who may not know, we have a category creating compensation plan here that's totally unique. It involves the very best, what is really working out there in the industry now, as well as what has worked the best over the last 50 years. So we have this hybrid compensation plan. One big part of that is the uni level. Folks, when you are out building, you have the ability to, as you're building your team, you have the ability to kind of save them up, store them up, if you will, and then incentivize future people to join your team. So let's say that you've added 3 promoters and to your team, and you're talking to potential promoter number 4, Lamont, and you say to potential promoter number 4, look, go ahead and get started. Let's get you in here today. Let's get you going to ground, helping the company and helping yourself and helping my team go out and get customers. And if you'll do that, if you'll get started and go out and get your first customer within a week, I'm going to place 3 team members underneath you that you've had saved up over here. That's the Jubi Suite. It allows you to give a really nice reward to help people kind of build their team. Now, the Jubi Suite actually covers several different areas. Of course, our comp plan pays out 10 different ways. So the Jubi Suite will actually cover several different areas. Now, there are 2 areas in specific which people have been asking about, which are up to 8 levels of 0.5%. Okay, so there are 2 key areas where people are asking, hey, what about those 8 levels up to 0.5%? Where are those? Well, those are in the process of being released. That's probably going to happen in about the next 7 days. Not to worry, no one has missed anything. All of the volume is there. It's just simply not displaying in your back office. Now, here's what's really cool about it. When that volume is pushed into the system through this different area, through the different areas of the comp plan covered by the Jubi Suite, here's what you're going to see, folks. If you did not have permanent placement of someone in your team, then that volume is going to be put into a bank, and you're going to be able to see that you've got some banked volume there that you need to place within 60 days of the time that it came in. Okay? Now, and again, the other part of what the Jubi Suite covers is the uni-level part. Now, for those who don't know, the first time that somebody, that a customer comes in on auto ship or a promoter comes in on auto ship, the very first month that they come in, we pay out in new customer acquisition bonuses. Why? Because we know that a lot of effort went into bringing that person in. Maybe some marketing dollars were spent to bring that person in. So the new customer acquisition bonus, Lamont, is there to reward that initial burst of energy required to bring somebody new in. But every month thereafter that they're reordering their max bucks, or a customers are reordering products and services, that volume is paid into the uni level. The uni level, again, is actually controllable via the Jubi Suite, which allows you to have team placement and leverage growth in key areas, reward people, motivate people. It's very, very exciting. Now, so the very first time the Jubi Suite will be needed to cover the uni level commissions is going to be when? Well, it's going to be May 1, right? Because if we've got all the auto ships, the very first renewal date of any auto ship, no matter when you got started, the very first possible renewal date of those auto ships is going to be May 1, right? And at that point on May 1, the very first month of reorders are coming in, and that's when the Jubi Suite is going to need to be able to control that so that people are getting paid up to 8 levels at 5% per level. Okay.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so Jubi Suite, ladies and gentlemen, all of that volume, from the Jubi Suite will be paid out once that's ready to go. I know some of you that have followed some of the webinars we've said, go on and start mapping out your Jubi Suite placement strategies. For those of you who've not already done so, that's going to be real huge over the next few days. Real huge over the next few days. All right, someone is asking, will we be able to use Jubi Bucks in the Jubi Rebates portal? Will we be able to use Jubi Bucks in the Jubi Rebates portal? And I think I know where there might have been a little disconnect in some information that we shared earlier, Mr. President. The answer to that is no, because what you're doing is the Jubi Rebates is going to give you access to over 5,000 retailers, everything from Walmart to Best Buy, so on and so forth. So obviously you can't go to Walmart and say, hey, I've got some Jubi Bucks, can I use those? However, we as promoters, the customer, the consumer, the customer who's got nothing to do with the income opportunity, they are going to get rebates paid to them, 2%, 3%, 5%, 10%, depending on whatever the vendor pays out. They'll get that paid to them in cash. They can have it PayPal to them. They can have it paid to their bank account, so on and so forth, okay? And that will normally be at least 30 days after the purchase. They'll have a back office, so on and so forth. Now, we promoters, instead of we getting paid when we make purchases, instead of us getting paid a rebate in cash, where our rebate is going to come back to us in the form of Jubi Bucks. Now, let me tell you why this is so huge. Not everybody has the resources to go out and make a large purchase of Jubi Bucks, give those Jubi Bucks away to generate Jubi points. So now this is going to be a resource that if we promoters simply purchase through our own store, our Jubi rebates, what you were going to purchase at Walmart anyway, just get it from Jubi Rebates. What you were going to get at Target anyway, get it from Target, but just get it from Jubi Rebates. All right, example, my family and I, we're going to spend several hundreds of dollars a month at Walmart anyway. Let's make sure maybe we go through Jubi Rebates, get a Walmart gift card. That way that purchase was made through Jubi Rebates. Then the rebate that we would have normally gotten paid back in cash, we actually get paid in Jubi Bucks. Now, why is this important? Now we've got more Jubi Bucks we can use that in our own Jubi branded portals. If I want to use that for skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, if I've spent all my Max Bucks for the month, or I can give those away, generating more Jubi points. So this is going to be a way that the person who says, gosh, I see this, but I don't have a lot of resources right now to purchase a lot of Jubi Bucks to give those away. But do you shop for other things? Do you buy other things? Yeah, do you go to Walmart? Yes. You go to Target? Yes. You go to Office Depot? Yes. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can earn Jubi Bucks through your own purchasing and then give those away to generate Jubi points. By the way, that was the idea of our president. Is the man brilliant or is the man brilliant? I tell you, I'm more impressed with him with every passing week. Okay? Powerful. Powerful. They're loving that, Mr. President.
You're making me blush, man. You're making me blush.
They're loving that. They're loving that. They're loving that. Okay, let's get to a few more questions here. Powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, I see that being so huge. So when the person comes to me or I present the income opportunity and they say, boy, I just don't have a lot of money. I'd like to purchase a lot of Jubi Bucks, but I can't purchase a whole lot right now. I just don't have the resources. Do you shop at Walmart? Yes. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to earn some Jubi Bucks. That's powerful. That is so powerful. Okay, give me a moment. Someone's asking if a new promoter just gets started, they don't have Pays or STP, what are the fastest ways to load? You can certainly do the wire, and or you can do the ACH if they're in the U.S., if they have a U.S. bank account. Mr. President, do you know the time frames? Are they pretty much the same between the wire and the ACH?
Well,
3 to 7 business days?
yeah, and it can actually be faster than that. First of all, the ACH, the easiest way for people to understand what is ACH. Well, if you are in the United States, ACH is another way to say online e-check, and so it's easier to understand ACH, folks, in the sense that it's just an online e-check. Depending on what time of day you put it in and whether or not it's a weekend, that type of thing. I mean, you could literally put that in and actually see your account funded with eCash in, maybe 48 to 72 hours at the earliest. You might want to give it 4 or 5 days thereafter. Bankwire can, again, be the same thing. It depends. If you got it in early in the morning, you might actually see it post the very next day, depending on where you are and what bank you're with. Might give that 24 to 72 hours. So they're very, very similar. And typically, you're seeing an online e-check in about 2 days. We call them business days, Monday through Friday.
Okay. Now, someone is asking, so if I buy a $100 Walmart card through Jubi Rebates, does that mean I earn 100 Jubi bucks? I wish so, Carol. You are so ambitious. I love your ambition. No, what's going to happen is each vendor, each merchant in the Jubi Rebates Mall is going to have a certain amount of cash back. You'll be able to see that very easily. All right, so Walmart typically, they're going to be lower than some other companies that maybe aren't as known. Some of the companies that maybe aren't as known or aren't as big or maybe running different promotions may give 5% back or may give 9% back or 10% back. I don't know exactly what Walmart's going to be. Let's say it's 2, maybe 3%. So if I purchased a Walmart gift card at $100 through my Jubi Rebates, and that's going to give, let's say in this example, a 3% cash back, then what I would earn, because I'm a promoter, is I would earn that 3%, but it would show up in my back office as 3 additional Jubi bucks. Now, the whole idea here is to create a culture among promoters, and eventually this is going to spread out through customers, but to create a culture among promoters that we do what? That we do all of our shopping through Jubi Rebates as much as we possibly can. In doing so, we're getting cash back in the form of what? Jubi bucks. So now what happens is we've got more Jubi bucks. We can give those away. That generates what? More Jubi points. So, Carol, I love your ambition. Gosh, I love your ambition. But it's going to be based on that particular merchant, what they give back in terms of percentage back, and then instead of we getting that back in cash, we get that back in really something that's much stronger, a Jubi buck. Because if you take a Jubi buck and you give that away to generate a Jubi point, we can't promise what the daily leadership bonus is going to be, but if you've been doing your numbers, that's a whole lot better than just getting the cash. Let's see here, next question. Good. Someone is saying they had, when they posted their bank wire, or they sent their bank wire through their bank, they said that it got posted the same day. So a bank wire, depending, I don't want to say that for everyone, but that bank wire could post fairly quickly. Give me a moment. Someone is asking how much subscription be for the shopping portal. D, I'm not sure if I fully understand your question there. How much will the subscription be for your shopping portal? If you're talking Jubi Rebates, Mr. President, all of our promoters get Jubi Rebates. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, good stuff. Give me a moment. Bear with me. Give me a moment. Can we pay our... Mr. President, someone is asking, can people cover their monthly auto ship with credit card if they don't have enough in their eCash on the renewal date?
Not at this time.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get the word out, all right, for people that made their purchases prior to April 1, that they want to make sure they have enough eCash. Mr. President, with this go-around, if I've got eCash there, would it automatically debit my eCash, or would I, right now, would I need to go in and physically make my purchase of Max Bucks with eCash that I have in my back office? I know. Go on. I'm sorry.
Well, round one, no, it does not auto-debit eCash. Now, going forward, we're going to have that option built into the system so that when people place their initial order, they can be automatically agreeing that based on their eCash balance and their settings and preferences, that automatically debits. So that option is going to be there. However, as of right now, it is not there. So we are going to, as quick as possible, be giving people the opportunity to go, and when they log in, they're going to see a little note that says, hey, click here to, update for next month's auto ship, and they're going to have the opportunity to spend existing eCash or begin the process of loading more eCash for that. So this first round, no, you don't want to miss your rank. You don't want to miss any parts of our comp plan. You don't want to miss our daily leadership bonus. So you're going to want to make sure that you work diligently to get your auto ship updated for the next month on time.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what we want to make sure is that we've got eCash. We've got eCash. If you are at $200 a month subscription and you're maintaining $200 a month subscription, you want to make sure you've got a couple $100 worth of eCash. You can load new funds for that, or let's say you're earning daily, maybe you're even earning some commissions. If you need to come back under eCash and then come back up, I've gotten kicked out. Give me just a moment.
I apologize. I think I just slurped my coffee, T. Lamont, right there, and I was not muted, so I hope it's not too late for coffee.
I tell you what, get some of that. I love that Jubi Energy. I love that Jubi Energy product. Give me a moment.
I mix the Jubi Energy with green coconut water, and it tastes exactly like Hawaiian Punch. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. I don't know what it is. I just did it on accident one day. I went to mix it with water, and I ended up mixing it with my green coconut water, and it tasted exactly like a Hawaiian Punch. It was delicious. Delicious.
I've never heard of green coconut water, but I did have some coconut. I drank from a coconut when we were in the Dominican. That was pretty cool.
All right. It's the same thing. Same thing, by the way.
Oh,
same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. eCash. Go to eCash. Go to eCash. Put in your PIN number. Excuse me. If you go to commissions, now all the way that the company pays, all right, each one of those allows you to determine how much of your commission do you want paid to eCash versus how much do you want going to JubiBucks. I know that many of us, including yours truly, I set my system, Mr. President, I set my system to 0%, meaning that when I get my daily leadership bonus, I didn't want any of that going to eCash. I wanted that all going to JubiBucks so I could give away and generate more Jubi points, particularly given the promotion period that we're in. However, if you need to change that so that you start generating some eCash the next few days to allow that eCash to help cover your monthly subscriptions, then feel free to do that and make that modification. And then what I would have you to do is once you've got enough eCash is come back and set it to where you really want it to have. So what we would be doing now, we've got a few days to do this. We can load up funds, make sure we've got enough eCash there. Some of you are already getting commissions and getting daily leadership bonus. Some of you have already set, so some eCash goes to your eCash. Okay, wonderful. And if you're not doing that yet, then you can come back here and change some of these settings to make sure you have enough eCash. Now, for this month, what we're going to want to do is, for those of us that's going to be on May 1, once we have our eCash, we're going to want to actually go in and purchase our Max Bucks for that particular for the month of May. So if it's 200 or 100 or 15 or 50 or what have you, you purchase your Max Bucks. You'll then be able to use those Max Bucks, and then you'll be qualified for the next month. Until the next month. And then by that time, some of these other automated pieces will be more in place. All right, Mr. President, we could stay here all night long. We've got a lot of questions. How many more do you want to do, my friend?
Let's do one more, T. Lamont.
Okay. Someone's just asking, they've heard us say monthly subscription. They've heard us say auto ship. Is that one and the same? The answer, Willie, is yes, my friend. So if you're a $15 a month subscription, That's the same when we were saying $15 a month auto ship right there. Okay, at least for the time being. Okay. Mr. President, someone was asking, as a promoter, can they use their Max Bucks to make a product purchase, but then have it sent somewhere else? Maybe they want to send it to another promoter because that promoter is starting to do some home parties. Does the system allow for that?
It probably does right now. As you go in, you get an opportunity to set the address. Here's the challenge. Here's why I do not want people to rely on that, because we want to have one verified and confirmed shipping address in your account as a promoter. And so you don't want to end up having next month's auto ship go to that person. So
right.
Yes, you probably can do that right now, but it's not optimal. You may be better off to use the pay it forward feature for that.
Okay. Mr. President, have we set the timers? A couple of people have asked, when a customer accepts Jubi Bucks, what's the time frame that they have to use those Jubi Bucks? Has that time frame been set, and has the timer on that started yet?
Well, our attorneys have a lot of details on that, T. Lamont. So we are in the process of putting together a full and final update for everyone. What I can tell you is that there's no great danger of them expiring, say, like in the next couple of weeks or anything like that. And we are going to wait for an official and full update on that component.
Okay. Give me a moment. Give me just a moment. Mr. President, someone is asking, can they, if they already have eCash and they already want to go on and purchase, they don't want to wait to April the 1st or what have you, can they go on and purchase more Max Bucks now and it still qualify them for April 1? I'm sorry, May 1.
That is a good question for my technical team. What I believe is that that's going to be an option probably in the next 72 hours, probably by Friday, and it'll be really clear in there how it works to place next month's order, and you're going to be able to do that well in advance so that you don't have to worry about it. But again, let's give that until Friday, and certainly not later than Monday when we have our company update call, because on Monday we're going to be covering Jubi rebates. We're going to be covering making sure that you can change your your auto purchase there of Max Bucks, etc., or purchase for the next month. And so all of that's going to be live, as well as we're going to be talking about dates for product-based training.
Okay, fantastic. Mr. President, again, we've got questions keep coming. Someone is asking, how about we finish with this? Someone was asking if you would just take a little time to share a little bit about your story and how you arrived where you are now. So how about we finish with that? Because I think that again, I've got a couple folks asking that. So how about you end with that, if you would, please?
All right, fine. One of the things that I always say when I'm on the calls is I really hate talking about my successes. I just am not. I'm kind of a down-to-earth kind of guy, and I still show up to work every day in Crocs and in shorts if I can, right here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm really not big into talking about success stories and stuff. What I'm most interested in is hearing people tell me their success story, and that's really what gets me fired up. But I can definitely tell you that, and maybe this is true of a lot of successful people, I don't know, but I can tell you that there was a moment in time, T. Lamont, there was a moment in time when my life completely changed. There was a moment in time where I just snapped. And I made a decision that I would do whatever it took to be successful. And I kind of told the story. Those of you that may not have heard it, we've got the long version of this. If you go to the home page, you can click, and there's an interview where T. Lamont actually interviewed me. But the short version of it is that maybe everybody here on the call can kind of relate to that very first moment when you fell in love. How many of you out here on the call, and it's amazing how many people have stayed for now 90 minutes, but how many of you out here on the call remember your very first love, the very first time that you ever fell in love? It's really amazing. The human body is just absolutely fantastic, and it's just all these emotions and feelings and everything. And I'll never forget, I fell absolutely head over heels in love with this young lady. And at the time, I would have been 12, 13 years old. And she was pretty much all I could think about for the most part. I had to do chores and I had to do my schoolwork, and then the rest of the time I was trying to figure out what this whole falling in love thing meant. And I'll never forget this very special moment in time when I was sitting on the stairs of my house, and I can only remember doing something. I don't know if I was reading a book or whittling wood, but I was doing one of the two. And the way I know I was doing one of the two, Telemon, is because when you live in the country, and I mean, I'm telling you what, I lived in a small town. There was 3 stores, 2 were out of business. Okay, you couldn't even get to Blacktop without driving several miles. I mean, I was in the country. And so I remember sitting there and I was doing something. Most people would probably think I was playing a video game or a Game Boy or something like that, but they didn't even have Game Boys back then. And even if they had, my family was way too poor to be able to afford it. So I was sitting there, I was sitting on the stairs and I was doing something. The only 2 things I could have been doing is reading a book or whittling wood. And then I heard it. I heard that song. And all of us have a special song. Maybe for some of you it's classical. Maybe for some of you it's hip hop. Maybe for some of you it's jazz or rhythm and blues or old school rock and roll. But I heard the music. And as I looked up, there she was, the girl that I had fallen in love with. And I mean, literally the whole world blurred out, and the only thing I could see was this lovely young lady coming towards me, and the music was playing, and I was so in love, and there she was. And then, like the cameras do, T. Lamont, where you kind of have everything in the background's kind of blurry, and only the thing in the foreground is focused, all of a sudden the music kind of screeched out, and in the background it all became clear. And behind this lovely young lady that I had fallen in love with was a bevy of about 40 women. And it took my mind a minute to cognate what had happened, and then I realized what it was, T. Lamont. It was all of the women from church, including my lovely first true love here, who had all come to bring my family food. And I knew right in that moment, that being poor was not something I liked to do. And so I just made a decision right then that I was going to do whatever it took to learn how to create abundance and prosperity in my own life and in the lives of my families and through as many people's lives as I possibly could. And that was the moment from then on that I've always been an entrepreneur. Again, I don't know which part they were asking about there, T. Lamont, but that's the very first part of my story and what really triggered it for me. But I'm going to fast forward here for a moment. And again, we're not going to be here all night I could tell stories for hours. But I'm going to fast forward to a moment when I had a gentleman who took me under his wing to mentor me. And when we would do things, I would always ask him, why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it that way? One of the things that he mentored me in doing was he taught me to become a runner. And so every day he would, he would go out and he would suit up. He would get his running shorts on and his Walkman on, and he would get his running shoes on and would go for a run. And so I started running with him. And I said, how far are we going to go? And he would say, to the end. And I would say, well, how far is that? And he would say, as long as it takes. And I would say, well, how many steps am I going to have to go? How many miles am I going to have to push forward? Is it going to be uphill? Is it going to be downhill? And he would smile and he would say, we're going to the end. And so over and over and over again, I would ask him these questions, and he would smile and he would say, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're focusing on the wrong part. He said, you go until the job gets done. And I remember that he applied that to all of the areas of his business. It was never about how long something was going to take. It was never about how daunting the task might be. It was never about whether it was going to be hard or whether it was going to be difficult or what was involved or how much this would cost. Here's the one thing that mattered. He said, we're going to go until the job gets done. We're going to go until we get it done. That really, I believe, defines, what we're doing here at JubiRev, JubiMax for all of us. Is that we got a big business to build here. What we're doing is not little stuff. It's not like we're over here, selling a single bottle of juice to as many people as we can. We got online e-commerce. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of moving pieces here. But you know what, T. Lamont? We're going to go until the job gets done. We're going to go and we're going to go and we're going to go, and it doesn't matter how many steps it takes. We're going to go until the job gets done, and we're going to go until we get there. And here's the thing. I'm not going to stop until everybody's with me. So that's really what we're doing here. And just a quick story there, T. Lamont. So with that, I can't think of anything better to close the call out with than this. if you're serious about what you're doing, folks, as a promoter, as an independent entrepreneur, as somebody who wants more in life, more time freedom, more financial freedom, more abundance, you just want to have the opportunity to interact with everybody, then here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about how many steps you're gonna get to. Don't sit there and count all the days and all the things you got to do to get there. Don't think about all the hurdles you're gonna have to jump through. Don't think about any of these things that could possibly stop you, or all of these. You meet people sometimes, Stephen Watt, and they got all these questions. Well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Those are great questions, but I'm going to tell you what. Whatever they are, we're going to face them. We're going to face them together, and we're going to go until the job gets done. So I just want to close out the call right here with everybody that is still with me. If you're willing to go until the job gets done, just type in a Y. It's all I want you to do, folks. And again, it's not a competition here tonight, but if you're an entrepreneur, if you're serious about building your business, and you're serious about doing whatever it takes to achieve the abundance and happiness and time freedom that you want in your life, then that's it. Just make a decision that you're going to go until the job gets done. That's it. How long does it take? Doesn't matter. How many steps does it take? Doesn't matter. We're just going to go until the job gets done. With that said, I want to thank each and every one of you out here on today's call for really blessing my life, and for really giving us as a company and a team the opportunity to serve all of you, and through you, the many, many tens of thousands of customers that are about to have their lives improved with the value of the products and services that we offer through JubiRev, Jubi Max. So with that, I want to thank each and every one of you. I will see all of you at the top, on the inside, and on the beaches of the world. Bye for now, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
So that's it for now. If you have any questions, please get back to the person that shared this video with you, or you can send a support ticket from your JubiRev back office. Thank you. We look forward to hearing of your success.